I just recently resolved a wrongful death case involving an older gentleman who was 81 years old at the time of the accident, and he had 3 adult surviving children, one of which relocated from DC to Jacksonville. Another child was in Orlando, and then another adult child was in Puerto Rico. So I ended up getting a phone call from one of the sisters, and she had just relocated to Jacksonville. Her dad had lived in Ocala, and he was a widow, and he lived with a friend. But it was a very unusual set of circumstances on how the accident occurred. He was being pulled by a bicyclist. So he was on some kind of motorized cart, and they were just going down, a road in Ocala that's one way in either direction. And unfortunately, a lady coming the opposite direction hit both of them and killed my client's 81-year-old dad. Then she fled the scene to make it worse. So the cops were able to locate her. She is still incarcerated for fleeing the scene with a wrongful death. And she's obviously got a whole laundry list of other criminal issues. What's very interesting about this case is that when the sister called me, she wasn't really quite sure what really happened in the accident. And so I was able to find the police report and figure out what happened in the accident. I was able to determine the other vehicle that was involved and who insured the other vehicle. So I told the sister, look, I'll look into it. That's what we do. We do a thorough investigation at Farah Farah. We put all the insurance companies on notice. We want to know, what are we dealing with here? And so in that case, the vehicle that the lady was driving was a commercial vehicle, but it was only insured with what we call a combined single limit policy of $100,000 total. I also come to find out that the identity of the other person who was involved in the accident was still alive, and that person was represented by another law firm. So when I started communicating with the insurance company for the other vehicle that was involved, and I started communicating with the other law firm, I wanted to get answers on what has happened, because the insurance company for the other vehicle, they paid out the insurance policy limits to the other person without doing the due diligence of trying to find if there were any survivors of the gentleman that passed away. And in fact, there were 3 adult surviving children. So I had conversations about what can we do now moving forward, because the limits have been paid. The insurance company, it was our position that they did not do what they should and could have, which is that they should have, it's called interplead the funds with the court, put the insurance policy limits in the court system and let the court find if there are other survivors. They didn't do that. So we went ahead and filed a lawsuit against the driver who is incarcerated, the owner of the vehicle, and the company that owned the vehicle. And we served everybody. I had conversations with the attorney with the insurance company that paid out limits. And just recently, they saw that we were going to fight this to the end, that they should have involved the family. So they contacted me, and they're going to pay the family the full $100,000 in limits for the 3 adult surviving children. You should definitely call Farah Farah, because I can assure you that the level of experience that our team has, including the lawyers that handle those specific types of cases, is important, because you want lawyers who have experience handling these types of wrongful death cases. Not all lawyers have that experience. I would consider wrongful death cases to be very complex, because again, there's Florida case law that governs how these wrongful death cases can be pursued. There's a lot that needs to go into it to preserve evidence right from the beginning, to do a thorough investigation, to make sure you're communicating with the right people so that you can give the family the answers that they deserve. And at Farah Farah, we have that team. We have those lawyers with that type of experience.